Hey, what's going on, DDO players? Axel here. Absolutely huge news for the game today, guys. We have a whole post here to go through about the server merges and server upgrades that are happening for everyone. So if you've not been in the loop, DDO has been working on for some time getting the old 32-bit servers upgraded to 64-bit servers and also consolidating the player base. So if you don't know what that means, 64-bit servers are essentially much more powerful servers than 32-bit. So you're gonna have better performance, less lag, more players can be on the server at the same time, and there are now going to be less servers. So let's just go through this whole post. First thing is the date, July 9th, happening very soon, less than a month, what, 3 weeks? And there's going to be a whole process you're going to have to go through to move from the 32-bit worlds to the 64-bit worlds. And the 32-bit worlds, as we'll get to later in this post, they're actually being retired a lot sooner than I thought. So everyone needs to, even if you don't want to watch this video, you need to go below in the description. I'll put a link to this article. You need to read the article because this impacts every single player of Dungeons and Dragons Online. So 64-bit worlds arrive July 9th. So let's just go through this step by step. We are happy to share further information with you about the future of DDO, new 64-bit game worlds, and free transfers. We have been working for some time to prepare the game for its 64-bit future by opening our 64-bit world called Cormier and by developing new transfer technology that will facilitate transfers to new worlds. We're now ready to deploy 3 new worlds and provide free transfers from all our 32-bit game worlds to the new 64-bit servers. So if you haven't seen this, they've been slowly ramping up to this. They initially started with Cormier, which was the first 64-bit world, which is still available. First, they only allowed it for VIP, then they allowed it for everybody. They've had events, the Lanterns in the Mist event, where they try to encourage people to move over there, and now we're at the point where we are going to get additional servers. So what's happening? On Wednesday, July 9th, when the worlds open from our weekly maintenance, 2 new 64-bit game worlds will be available, with 2 of the new worlds located in the US and 1 located in Europe. Their names are Auric for the US and Thrain for US. And that is also in addition to Cormier, which is going to function just as a regular 64-bit server now to go along with the 2 brand new ones. So there's going to be 1 server in Europe as well called Moonsea. So there will be 4 servers total starting on July 9th for DDO. And that will 4 active servers. We'll get into the 30-bit servers here in a second. So they say here, these worlds will join our existing 64-bit US server Cormier as our regular game worlds. Free transfers from the 32-bit game worlds to these 64-bit game worlds, including Cormier, will be available through August 31st, 2025, after which point the 32 game worlds will no longer be available for regular gameplay. Read below for further information. So you're going to be able to, starting on July 9th, transfer any of your characters to any of these 4 servers you want: Cormier, Auric, Thrain, or Moonsea. So obviously, if you're a European player, Moonsea is where you're very likely to go unless you have really close ties to, say, American players on the other servers. This is the first European server for DDO, so that's huge. I'm happy for all you and you European players or anyone closer to the European server area, because you're going to have less ping, which is great. For everyone else in the US, all the new servers in the US are going to be in Las Vegas. So if you're an East Coast player like myself, you're going to have a slightly more ping, but probably nothing that's going to be that noticeable. But certainly for European players, it's going to be definitely noticeable. That'll be moving over to Moonsea. So let's start about talking about the process. Now, I will say, first of all, I did watch the Fridays at 4, which is Cordova and the community managers show today, where some more information was laid out, but we don't have all the information yet on exactly how the process is going to go. Cordovan did say on a stream that they're going to do some kind of guide for transferring. I hope they would make a video. I will say, first of all, it's probably not a bad idea to maybe do a trial run with 1 character that you don't care about, just to see what the process is like before you transfer all your other characters. But here's the basic summary of how it's going to work. If you have a character on any of the 32-bit game worlds, then you have to go through this packing and unpacking process. Well, I started reading it there anyways. He says we want you to join us on the 64-bit world. So here's what you do. Prepare your character on your origin world. When ready, you will use the pack function to pack up your character and related account data prior to transfer. This is extremely important. So we don't have the specifics on this, but there'll be some kind of /pack or other prompt that you'll go through to pack your character. So the pack function, as Cordovan explained today on a stream, is going to pull all the information that isn't available in the regular transfer tech. So the current transfer tech does not transfer things like guild shifts, astral shard balance, but this new pack function is existing to pull everything that the main transfer tool doesn't. So it's going to pull almost everything, and we'll go through in a second what it doesn't include. But basically, you go through that function on your character. You log into the game launcher, press the transfer button. The transfer interface is going to look very similar to what the transfer interface is now. So you basically pack function, log into character, /pack, pack the character, go through that pack prompt. Once they're packed, move your character with the transfer button, log into the new game world, and then use the unpack function to restore all your data and populate everything. So it's a pretty straightforward process. I hope so. There'll be a little things here and there that'll be a little specifics we need to hear about, but that's basically a quick overview of the process. So what's been packed? What's going to transfer with you? Basically everything. So there were concerns that things like astral shards or whatever else wouldn't transfer, but almost everything is transferring. There's a couple little things, but all the major things are transferring. So astral shards are transferring guild information, creature companions, mount stable, monster manual information, shared crafting, platinum vault, account-based storage. And they also mentioned that reincarnation cache is going to transfer. I don't know why it's not listed here, but Cordovan did say that on the stream today. But the only things that will not transfer is, these things. Okay, so things that will not transfer. They go into reincarnation cache. It will transfer, but it says there's nothing you need to do related to it. You can transfer to the transfer wizard with your reincarnation cache intact. So it just says that your reincarnation cache will transfer. It's just not included in the pack function, because the pack function is designed to kind of pull up everything that the normal existing transfer tech does not pull. But the reincarnation cache will function. They're just noting it that you don't need to do anything else to transfer it. Auction. So other things that will not transfer though: auction listing, bids, winnings, deposits of platinum, or astral shards. So anything like if you have an auction that's live right now on the shard exchange, that will not transfer. So you need to complete any auction. You need to get any mail out of your mailbox. Like if you have someone sent you an item through the mail, or say you have winnings, so like astral shards in your mailbox you haven't pulled out, deposits of platinum or astral shards, you need to pull these things out before you transfer. So these things will not transfer. So I want to see more clarification on this, but I think what they're saying here is you just need to pull everything out of the mail, basically. They say, please make sure to conclude all your auctions and claim all of your items prior to running the /transfer pack command or using the transfer interface. In the future, we will announce where the auction houses on our 30-bit game worlds will be closing. So mail doesn't transfer. Your guild rank, your daily dice free roll status. You should probably do your daily dice roll before you transfer. What to do if you're a guild leader. So guilds do transfer, but they're kind of the guild leader basically is responsible for transferring the guild. So if you're just a guild member, you don't really have to do anything. There is a little bit here, but there's not a lot you have to do, I guess would be a better way to say it. But as far as guild leaders, if you are a guild leader, it will be your job to get the guild to its new home. Once you run the pack function on your guild leader character, most guild information will be bundled to your character, and you will bring it to the destination world. This includes things like your guild's level, guild member contributions, and astral shards or platinum. So the guild leader needs to make sure that they actually transfer the character that is the guild leader for the guild to transfer. Once you run the unpack function on your destination world, your guild and its information will populate onto your new world. The following guild features are not transferred. Guild chest content, so you need to empty any guild chests you have. It says it's extremely important that all guild chests have any items removed. Okay, guild amenity layout, you need to replace amenities. Guild airship name, place guild airship cosmetics, so those don't transfer. But I'm glad to say that everything that matters really is transferring. like astral shards, mounts, all that stuff is transferring. So what to do if you are a guild member? If you are a member of your guild, your membership and guild renown will be bundled to your character when you use the pack function. Once your guild leader has established your guild on your destination world, you can run the unpack function to restore your renown and place into the guild. However, you should not create a new guild using that character until your old guild information is unpacked, as that may impact the retention of your now old guild data. So can I add to my pack? No, but you can pack again on a different character. So they're talking about account-based storage, and other account-based progress will come with your next character. So let's say like you pack a character, you move the character and unpack, but say you play again on the 32-bit worlds, and maybe you get an additional item that you might throw into your shared bank that you didn't have when you initially packed and moved your first character. You can run pack again so that those things come over with the next character you transfer, but you can only pack once per character. So I would just save yourself the hassle. Just have a day, just move most of your characters at the same time is what I would say. Now there may be a queue though, so they did mention today on the discussions on the Court Oven show. Sorry, my brain's not working. That there may be some kind of queue. So when you transfer your characters, there may be some wait time. So you might want to say like leave 1 or 2 characters. Don't transfer every character that you have on day one, because you might not be able to play the game for a little while until your transfer goes through. So I would say transfer all of your characters, except maybe 1 or 2, just so you can play them on the 32-bit server in the meantime, while you're waiting for everything to go through. It's not like this is going to be instant. I mean, every player in the entire game is going to be transferring, so there may be some wait time for transfers. We don't really know how long that's going to be, but there very likely will be some wait time, especially if you are transferring day one. And you could even choose to wait and not transfer for a couple weeks, just so you don't have that wait time, or to see how it goes. But be aware that someone may take your name. So that's another thing they talked about today is obviously a lot of people are going to ask about name. If there's a legitimate conflict, they mentioned that it sounds like it's probably just going to be first come first serve. If there's a legitimate conflict, like 2 people actually play characters on different servers and they happen to have the same name. Now, if people are sniping your name, they mentioned they're pretty vague about it on the show, but there may be specific things you can do, like you may be able to contact support to get your name back if it's clear that someone just rolled up a level 1 character, isn't playing the character, they just did that to snipe your name. But we don't really have any detailed information on that. Might want to go, and I'll go ahead and link Cordovan's stream below as well, so you can go watch that stream where he had a interview with Severlin today where they went over things in quite a bit of detail. It's probably about 45 minutes or so, 50 minutes video. So let's see. If your guild undergoes a name change, the guild leader can change the guild name. So there's going to be a free guild rename. They mentioned this, and it's the same with any other character. So you're going to get a free name, but if your character or guild's name, I'll just read it on the post. If your character or guild's name is already present, then you will get a -1. So a lot of people are familiar with this when, say, the older hardcore seasons. Once you transfer a character over, if say your character's name is Bob and there's already a Bob on the other server, then you're going to get Bob-1 or Bob-2. It's just going to add that because you can't have 2 characters with the same name, same first name on the same server. So that will happen if there's a conflict. But if you log in, you see you have a -1 or -2, you do get a free rename. So one free guild rename and 1 free rename for each character upon transferring. The other part of this is the old 32-bit worlds we are all playing on now. Well, all of us who aren't playing on Cormier are playing on now are closing, and they're closing a lot sooner than I thought. I was really surprised when I saw this today. So let's get into this. As part of this process, we are permanently closing our 32-bit game worlds. Players can log into the game worlds to run the necessary commands and transfer their characters through August 31st, 2025. After August 31st, the following 32-bit game worlds will not be available. So they're all of them. The 32-bit game worlds will not be available after August 31st, 2025. Okay, so when they say not available, and I'll just continue to read down because they kind of explain it down here. So our existing 64-bit world Cormier will continue to be available. So after August 31st, our 32-bit game worlds will become temporarily unavailable for login. At a later date, we will reopen these 32-bit 30-bit game worlds as ghost worlds for new players to be able to transfer their characters for 2 years. Players will be able to log into these worlds to prepare their characters for transfer, but no questing or other gameplay will be possible. You'll run the pack function, then log into the game launcher and complete your transfer. Okay, so you have until August 31st to transfer, which isn't that long, to transfer your characters. However, after that time, you're still going to be able to transfer characters, but after August 31st, the game worlds are going to become ghost worlds, the 32-bit game worlds, so you can log in, but you can't do anything. My guess is you can probably like run around the public areas, but that's it. You can't run any quests or get XP or do anything. So they're going to be unplayable after August 31st. And they do say they will be temporarily unavailable for login. So my understanding is they're moving the data on August 31st. So there will even be a period of time where you won't be able to access them at all. So if you don't transfer by August 31st, there will be a period of time, if all your characters are only in the 32-bit game world, so there will be a period of time you won't be able to access those characters. Your only option for playing the game would be to roll up a character on a 64-bit server, but they are going to bring it back at some point. They've been pretty vague about this. We don't know, but basically what you need to know is you have until August 31st to transfer your character. If you don't transfer your character after August 31st, then the 30-bit game worlds are going to be put in some alternate data storage, and there'll be a process for them to actually get back into a state where they're available again for transfers. So we don't know how long that's going to take. It could be a week, it could be a month, it could be 2 months, we don't know. But at some point later, they'll again reopen the 30-bit game worlds as ghost worlds. You can't do anything, but for 2 years, they will exist as ghost worlds where you can log in and transfer your character. They want to catch people that maybe are away from the game. Maybe they left last year but come back this year and they see their character. They log in, they'll get this prompt, and they'll need to transfer. So they want to catch people who maybe left the game. That's why they're leaving that up. They don't want to delete everyone's characters immediately on the 30-bit game world. So they've been pretty vague, and there's been no response I've seen about this on what will happen to all that character data after 2 years. My guess, and this is, I want to be very clear, I'm speculating. My guess is that after that 2 years, they're probably going to delete every character on the old 32-bit game worlds, which is a shame. And I hope that's not the case. We don't know. I want to see some clarification from them on that. I would really love to see them store that data somewhere. So if someone comes back in 3 years from now, that they'll be able to access their characters. But there's a good chance that if you come back in, say, 2029, then you may have to start fresh from scratch. You may lose all your characters, and that sucks. And I really hope that there's some way through custom, even if the ghost worlds come down, I hope there's some way they can store those old character data so that players who come back later can request something from customer service to get their characters restored. But you have 2 years to transfer your characters. So if you know anyone who plays the game that maybe they're not playing the game right now, but they think they might come back, they need to transfer their characters sometime within the next 2 years to avoid, if they ever want to return. Okay. And maybe when we get closer to that point, they'll give us more information, or maybe this week they'll give us more information, but I haven't seen that question answered directly. Okay. The timing of the reopening of these closed worlds is not yet available. So that's what I said before. When they reopen the 30-bit game worlds as ghost worlds, we don't know when that's available. All the 30-bit worlds will close for regular gameplay after August 31st. So please make sure to transfer your characters. Once this final period of transfers is available in the future, these worlds will be permanently closed and no further transfers will be possible. So here, this is what they said here. So after that 2 years, no further transfers will be possible. We'll have more information on the timing of those transfers in the future. So they say that after 2 years, no transfers will be possible, but they imply that they're going to delete everything after 2 years. But I wonder if they're just saying that to really encourage people to transfer. Because if it was retrievable, maybe they wouldn't want to say that, because that might make people feel like, oh, I don't have to actually transfer, or maybe I'm off playing Baldur's Gate or Path of Exile 2 right now. I don't have to worry about it right now. I'll worry about it in a couple years if I want to come back. Maybe they want to incentivize people to actually do it. So yeah, so there we go. Okay, so there's one more thing to go over with this. So they say, additionally, we intend to offer a limited period of time where characters on a 64-bit game world can transfer for free to a different 64-bit game worlds. This will allow players who accidentally find themselves on the wrong world the ability to correct their mistake. We are not yet ready to announce when these transfers will be available. These transfers will also allow players to transfer from Cormyr to Moonsea for a limited period of time. So basically what this means is they're going to give you a second chance. So maybe during this first transfer period, you don't know where to go. You're wondering what server you want to transfer to, because you have your choice of server, by the way, if I'm being clear. There's no restrictions on where you can transfer. You can transfer to any of these servers. So maybe you transfer, maybe you go to Auric and you find out, oh no, all my old friends, they actually went to Cormyr, and maybe you decide you want to go to Cormyr. So the second chance period at some point in the future will give you that option for a free transfer to that world, because without a free transfer period, it's pretty much financially unviable for people to transfer their characters, because a lot of people, unless you really only have a couple characters, because they do charge a lot of money on a per character basis for a transfer normally. But so that's just going to give you a second chance to pick a new server. So don't feel like so if you want to right now, just pick one so you can immediately start playing. Don't feel like this is a permanent choice forever. You will have one more chance to change servers at some point if you want to. We don't know when that's going to be. They haven't said. They've been pretty vague on that. It could be 3 months from now. It could be 6 months from now. We don't know. But you will have some kind of second chance in the future if you don't like your initial choice of a 64-bit world. Okay, finally, this thing, which I don't know why they threw it in here. It's kind of hiding at the end of this article. This should have been a separate announcement, but this is really sad and a big deal. So end of service notice, forumsold.ddo.com. So our previously closed and read-only forums need to sunset as part of our overall server and technology work. The forums at forums.old.ddo.com have been available in a read-only state for some years, but we are no longer able to maintain the service. Please make sure to update your links and grab any text you wish to preserve before 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday, August 31st, 2025. Okay, so for those of y'all who don't know, several years ago, they created new forums, and what they did was the old forums were put in a read-only state, so you can still access them right now by going to forums-old.ddo.com, but you can't post, you can only read. So that is years and years and years of character builds, old discussions about the game, things that are probably linked in the DDO wiki, all kinds of old information that you can currently read. But on August 31st of this year, they're going to delete all of that, which is just, that's such a shame. So, but you have some time. So you need to go back if there's anything you have on the old forums, whether that's character builds, just some old discussion, memes, whatever. If any of that stuff, you need to go and archive yourself. You can also copy paste stuff into the forums. Like today, I had never pulled over my two-handed fighting melee cleric build from the old cleric forum, so I went ahead just for archiving purposes. I threw that in the cleric forum on the new forums today. But just be aware, all the old forums are going to be deleted on August 31st. All the information will be gone. So get on that if you need to transfer information. And yeah, it's just a shame. That's a lot of valuable information. I know it's mostly outdated information, but there's a lot of memories from that old forum, and it's just really sad. I know we don't really know exactly why. There's some security concerns, something with storage. If they move that to a different storage service, that's what they mentioned today on the forums, or on Court of Show, some kind of security concern. Maybe it's probably, I would imagine, something they just don't want to pay for. But who knows? I'm just speculating. But in any case, it's going away. Okay, so the last thing here, we're excited to provide an improved game environment with the release of our 64-bit game worlds and the new release of a 64-bit world located in Europe. Okay, so it kind of just says, yeah, join us in the new worlds. Okay, guys, so please, I want you guys to comment below. Let me know if you know already, what server are you going to go to? I actually want to know. And I know some of you all, and I've gotten a lot of messages today already asking where I'm going to go. I don't know yet. When I know, I'll let you guys know. Please, if you don't already, I have a link tree below with links to all of my stuff. Okay, I always put that below every video. There's a link there to my Discord and social media. That's the best way to contact me, specifically my Discord. So please join my Discord if you aren't there, or if you haven't already. Follow me on social media. I will let you guys know when I know, but I need to find out people I raid with, my guild, and friends and other content creators, other streamers. I need to talk with them and find out where I'm going to go. But yeah, it will not be. I can tell you, it won't be the EU server because I'm an American. So it will be one of the Las Vegas servers. So yeah, guys, I think that's going to be it for the video. Just you know, huge. I just can't understate how huge of a day this is. I mean, this is the #1 thing I've wanted in DDO for a very long time, is a consolidation. And I was right. I thought it would be 4 servers, and it ended up being 4. I was kind of hoping it would be less than that, just because so it would be consolidated more. But with this, we are consolidating to basically half. So that's going to be a huge improvement. Not only will we have more powerful servers, less lag, less less performance issues, but we're going to have more people to play with, more LFMs. So this is even though there's some really sad things, like possibly after 2 years characters getting deleted and the old forums going away, overall this is a huge and very important day for Dungeons and Dragons Online. So guys, yeah, comment below, let me know where you're going server wise, if you know yet, and just whatever else you think, guys. Let me know what you think about this. Yeah, I'll see you guys for the next video, and hopefully I see some of you all on the 64-bit servers and get to play with you in the future. So I'll see you all in the next video. Take care.